What's up, guys? This is KangaRuthless, and I'm bringing you another StarCraft 2 commentary. This is going to be a Zerg versus Terran on the map GSL Daybreak, and it's going to be featuring yours truly, KangaRuthless, otherwise known as Kangaskhan, spawning as a green Zerg in the bottom left, and my opponent for this game will be corpsepose, a friend of mine from a while back. He hadn't been playing StarCraft for a while, but he finally has gotten back into the game. And to give you guys a little bit of background on all this, this is game 2, by the way, of our series, and I wanted to show you guys this game because it just shows a build that is very powerful and that a lot of people are going to have a really hard time dealing with. So more to come on that later, but this is actually from the SC1, the SC Weeklies. StarCraftCentral.net is putting out a weekly tournament every Saturday at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which would be 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And all you have to do to join up is be in the StarCraft Central channel on BNet, and you can join up. So if we get a strong enough following of people, if enough people consistently show up to these, we may go ahead and start having some weekly prize pools, or just have some sort of point system where if you get up high enough in points, or some sort of playoffs maybe, to win a couple of bucks here or there. We'll see how it ends up playing out. But at any rate, I was actually streaming this, and we had a bunch of we had a couple of people observing meanwhile, so we did have healthy much drop out there. But this is GSL Daybreak. I'm going to tell you a bit about this map. This is a huge map, by the way. You saw how long it took that SCV to come over here. Very large rust distance, so getting a hatchery down at 15 is pretty easy to do on this map. Bunker rushes are not scary as long as you have your Overlord in the right place, so I'm Overlord scouting in a pretty decent spot. Obviously barracks in this position could be potentially dangerous, but I am chasing away with this SCV with this drone, just making sure he's not up to anything crazy. Meanwhile, sending a second drone in to scout and make sure that this isn't some sort of 2-racks. You always want to send your drones into your Terran opponent's base just to make sure it's not a 2-racks. I guess once you get good enough at reading your opponent and just reading the situation altogether, you can just rely on Overlord scouting, but it makes me feel a lot better when my drones know exactly what's going on. So we do have the hatchery going down here for me, as well as a pull and then a gas. I think this gas is going to be a little bit early. So, really not much else going here. This is GSL Daybreak, by the way. You don't see this map on ladder, but I really wish you would. Unfortunately, I think a lot of the maps you see on ladder are only Blizzard, sponsored maps, maps that Blizzard puts together. I don't know if Blizzard has in the past, or will do this again, let individual map makers, if their map is balanced enough and good enough and popular enough, if they'll feature that into the ladder pool, I think that'd be really great. Call for a lot more interesting and more balanced maps, and a little bit, of different perspective than what Blizzard's used to making. But as we see here, I'm going to go with the standard 2 queen opening once I have enough. There we go, 2 queens now coming out. It's a very economic opener here, and should help me against any sort of Hellion harass, which looks like it's on the way. We do have a reactor here, and the factory about to finish at the same time, so pretty quick opening here from the corpse. Oh, excuse me there. So as you can see here, a couple Marines out here. I have my Overlords in decent positions here. I'm just trying to see if he's sneaking a third here, and I want this Overlord to be right next to his base to see when he takes a second. This Overlord in the meantime moving out across the map, and I do have my Lings running out as well. So I do want to scout and see when it is that, what kind of build he's going for, but that's the problem I feel like with these Lings. If you're going to go for a 15 hatch, these Lings are going to be a little bit too late here to scout anything. So we can see here the factories are going to get out 2 Hellions. He's making a command center behind this, so I'm not going to see much poking up the ramp here because my units are just too slow. So unfortunately the Hellions are going to come out here. The Zerglings are going to try and run up the ramp. They will see that there are 2 Hellions here, and their days are numbered. These Zerglings' days are numbered. Now take into account this is game 2 of the series between myself and corpsepose. So, oh goodness, more Zerglings rallying into their death. This is not good for me. You cannot have bad rally points like this. I mean, Hellions just chew up Zerglings like no one's business. This is the problem I have with Hellions. I mean, he's forcing a couple of links here. I am starting to wall off here with a Roach Warren, an Evolution Chamber, and placing a Queen over here in the choke between the Spine Crawler and this Roach Warren. But with this little wall off right here, he's not going to be able to really get in. I think I'm pretty safe here. I don't have to make any more lings. I can just drone up from here, and that's exactly what I'm doing. So getting a nice wall off really helps out. And it's okay if he starts picking away at buildings. It's not like it's going to do anything. All I have to do is keep on injecting and keep up my macro, and I should be just fine. But I am going to start shooing away these Hellions a little bit with this Queen. Immediately running back and making sure that everything does turn out alright. Moving up the spine crawler so you can't get any free hits there, and laying down a creep tumor as well, just to start spreading that creep and extending it, which really helps out. But as you can see here, there's about 6 Hellions out on the map, and they're just having plenty of map control. We do have 2 gases here, so we can expect for a corpse to really tech up here. We do see a second factory on the way, so he could potentially be going for mech. Siege tech is on the way as well as the orbital command is about to complete here. And first 2 roaches are going to come out, and really their job is to push away these Hellions so I can secure a third. And so let's see if I actually do that here. Oh, sorry about that, guys. A little bit of lag. Not sure what that's about. See here, these roaches are going to be able to shoo away these Hellions, and you don't want to ever overcommit on roaches. You just want to shoo away the Hellions, make sure they run away, and basically allow yourself to take that third. But it doesn't look like I'm doing that right now. I'm actually taking a lot of gas. I should be taking a third. So first big mistake that I'm doing this game is I'm not taking my third immediately. Instead, I'm going up for a lot of gas. And even right now, even after 11 drones, I could be throwing down my third. It could be a quarter of the way done right now. But instead electing to be a little bit more aggressive, or not really aggressive, just bad play all around. Not spreading creep either, so these are a few problems I'm running into here. Meanwhile, we do have Blue Flame on the way. I feel like once your opponent's shown roaches, I would prefer that the Terran delay Blue Flame, and sorry about that, in favor of getting out more tanks, or more Thors or dropships or something, or maybe getting upgrades. You don't really need Blue Flame against roaches because it's just not that good. I mean, sure, they're great against a mass link run by. Let's see here, I mean, 1 tank is plenty to fend that off, but meanwhile, Hellions being pretty passive here. They don't really want to go in. Engineering Bay is up, but no upgrades so far. I am going for my 1-1 for my Lings. Where are they? There we go. I mean, I have Evolution Chambers. I might as well put them to use. And look how late that hatchery is. This is a big problem with Zergs. I mean, when your opponent has gone for a Hellion build like that, once you get out the roaches, you have to throw down that expansion ASAP. So I'm being a little bit lackluster on spreading the creep. I could go ahead and spread the creep with this queen as well. Just give myself more surface area to work with. I do have a couple of Lings over here just to scout for any third base. And Corpse is going to line himself up for a drop here once he gets a couple of Hellions in with this build. So the drop is heading on the way, but it will be scouted by these Lings, so I immediately know what's going on. Immediately making 20 Lings. That's a bit of an overreaction there. I really don't need that many. Income tab, I'm only slightly ahead. Think if that had been drones and I just made a couple of roaches. I mean, yeah, it's nice having 20 Lings, but I don't really need them. But 1-1 is about to complete here, so this drop's going to be, you know, ill-fated. Now, here's the thing that I think Zergs don't pay attention to a lot, is that when a Terran is about to drop your main, and you know he's going to drop you, right? It's sometimes smart to keep your units a little bit positioned back, and that way you might be able to catch him off guard. See, I show my hand a bit too early. He knows that my units are onto him, and he's not going to be able to drop anywhere. So there he goes again. He cannot find any place to drop. My units are already there. So he's going to go ahead and drop out the Hellions to clear out this watchtower. Meanwhile, the third base is down. I'm starting on my infestation pits. So far, a little bit lackluster in macro here, but I have the idea of the build down at least. And so right here, just trying to push out with very minimal units. Look how high my gas and minerals are. I'm very used to a muta-based economy, which is why this can be very problematic for Zergs that are going for a different build type. Now, losing all these Zerglings, not the best thing in the world. In fact, I have roaches. Not sure what they're actually doing here. I'm going to be following this dropship, that's for sure. 10 more roaches on the way. I feel like it would have been a lot smarter to just go for some sort of spire. You know, maybe a spire. I mean, just maybe not commit to roaches, because roaches are really bad units. They're only good for early game and somewhat good in mid game, but late game, there's just no use for all these roaches right now, unless I'm going to do something like drops. And I'm not even pestering this dropship. I could be sending my queen over here to start picking away at it, but I'm just not going to do that, and the queen's just so far away, it's not even going to matter. So more roaches coming into position to stop any sort of drops. But I'm just over there at all times, just basically shutting this down. So he's not getting much done, but at the same time, he's got a Raven out, he's got lots of tanks. I mean, Corpse is looking pretty good. Still no upgrades on infantry. I think he just got that for an armory. I believe so. Yeah, so we have the +1 on the armory weapons. We have about 2 Thors, a Raven, 4 tanks, and a lot of Hellions. So what do I need really against this? I need infestors. I need a lot of infestors, really, to lock down these Hellions, as well to shoot out beach balls. What do you call them? The infested Terrans, to shoot the air, as well as draw the siege tank fire. So I'm going the right tech options here, right? I'm getting my infestors, and the roaches is arguably not the right tech option. But, I mean, I'm sticking with this roach build. I'm going to have 1-1 on my lings. I'm about to have 1-2 on my roaches here shortly. So, as long as I can survive... Oh, bad rally point. Bad rally point. But as long as I can survive long enough, I should be fine. Now, look at this. Cloaking Field. This is for the Banshees, so they can do some economic damage. This is why having some sort of air or anti-air is really nice. Now, you'll notice that I don't have any infestors. Realizing this a bit too late, I'm only able to get out 2 infestors because I'm supply locked, so that's pretty embarrassing there as well. And I don't really have much here. I should be throwing down spores, spines, anything to delay this push. Because I know this push is coming, I need to consolidate my forces and make sure I am safe. So I know he's just pressuring up there, and he's probably going to reposition himself over to you know, start picking away at this third. This army's going to be out of position, unfortunately, and this third is going to go down. There's no way I'm going to be able to save this with this few units. I'm still supply locked here. Actually, just now getting unsupply locked, but look how high my minerals and gas are. Just not spending money very well. Just too busy trying to micro around and not spending any time macroing. Deciding to throw down a Spire, but I mean, this base is going to go down. There's no way it's going to survive. And a lot of units here are getting picked off, but here come the roaches and the zerglings. I don't know what these infestors are doing, but they're about to get killed. 1 fungal growth goes down, a 2nd fungal growth goes down on the siege tanks, but they're still able to siege up. I mean, there's auto repair SCVs here, so if you don't kill the auto repair SCVs, it doesn't do you that much good. Now, I only have a handful of roaches left. I should technically die to this push. Like, I should be very, very dead at this moment because I'm just not spending very well. I'm losing a lot of units for free, really. And so, bad rally points here as well for these units. Able to pick off a couple of these Hellions, but really I need my roaches to get a good concave. I need some good fungals, but my infestors are running in and getting picked off. There are, oh my gosh, there might be 1 more fungal left, but I do spit out some infested Terrans. And I am sending in more roaches to try and take out this army. The infested Terrans are going down really quickly here. And 2 Cloak Banshees, that's going to be pretty problematic, but I do have a Spore here in the main base. So I am able to pick out all these siege tanks, so right now what would be a good idea to do is to bring a lot of Zerglings. I'm still making roaches. I should really be saving that gas for something like a for like Mutalisk or something. So here comes the second part of the push. More tanks rallying in here. We have 2 Thors just killing off a lot of stuff. I'm just waiting for another round of roaches here. And I'm just not able to consolidate very much. I'm losing so much. I'm not injecting as well as I could. The hive is up, but I don't have that Ultralisk Cavern on the way. Just think if I grabbed that third a lot faster, and even if I had gone for Brood Lords, I would have Corruptors out right now, and that would do pretty well against this sort of composition. But unfortunately, that's not really the case. I'm having to bring off a lot of drones here to try and pick off the army. And drones are pretty good against tanks, but you don't ever want to have to fight with your drones. I mean, that's bottom line. Fighting with your drones is bad, so having to pull a lot of drones here, going to lose a lot of drones. In fact, let's look at the drones loss tab. It's going to be 36 now. That's pretty bad. And, I mean, Corpse could lose this entire army, and he'll be fine. And so here I'm going to go ahead and send out a couple of Zerglings and a couple of Mutalisks as well. If I'm able to pick off this Thor, I should be in great shape. I need to pick off this Raven as well. And the Mutalisk going for this auto turret, not the best decision. This is not going to bode well at all. Just not microing whatsoever. Zerglings picking off these Blue Flame Hellions, and just nothing going good for me. Meanwhile, corpsepose has his third up. And he's getting 2 more command centers. I mean, he has a pretty hefty lead at this point. I guess my entire idea was I just got to get up more units and get up more Mutalisks. Maybe just do a tech switch into Mutas. But you can see here he's going so heavy on Thors. Mutas aren't really the option that you need late game or even mid game. Mutas are sort of that early timing that you do to sort of harass the mech player, keep them in their base and delay their third while you use your links to counterattack as well. Mutas are not what you want to use to try and kill a mech army. Anyways, we have some units here just patrolling across, seeing if there's any weakness at all in this defense line. Sending in the Mutas first, so just in case there's any tanks. They do see there's plenty of missile turrets here. There's plenty to scare this away. So I do get a little bit lucky here. Transfer of SCVs, pretty unfortunate here for corpsepose. So he is losing quite a few SCVs, but these Mutalisks are being stupid and not following. I don't know what the hell, man. Literally, go and follow. But the Thors are coming out here as well. So I am able to pick off a couple more SCVs. That was a pretty lucky pickup for me. So now he's lost about 16, but I'm still behind, you know, 16 or so on him. So overall, not looking very good for me. I need to be taking like a third and a fourth if I want to stand any chance of getting in this game. I also need to throw down some macro hatches like crazy. I have so many minerals and I can't spend them. And as well, I'm not going for hive tech. I mean, I have hive. I'm not getting any upgrades hive related. I just feel like I'm just trying so hard to find my way back in. I'm making a lot of tier 1 and tier 2 units. Not really even thinking about trying to get myself back in this economically. Just trying to do so much harass damage that I can somehow get my way back in. But I am able to pick off a lot of these mules here at the base. And picking off this orbital, he's not going to lift it in time, unfortunately. So this will go down. A very easy, nice pickup for me, but it doesn't really matter because look at this mech army. If I had invested more in macro, just gotten a couple more hatcheries, and gotten a lot more lings out, I mean, I can totally afford it, right? My Greater Spire's late. And just think what if a lot of lings here would do. Like, a ton of lings. There's very few Hellions, and this is a problem that Corpse is having, which is why his minerals are so high. He's not making any more Hellions, and you need Hellions so the Zerg can't just mass ling you to death. But a lot of Hellions and Mutos coming in here. I need to catch these tanks while they're still unsieged. I'm just trying to wait for more units, but they're just not coming out. I just do not have the larva for that. So here come the tanks, here come a lot of the Thors, and I mean, it doesn't even matter at this point. This army's just going to get obliterated. So that was my army. It didn't last that long. Good game coming up for me, and corpsepose will give the good game as well. So that's mech. And I wanted to cast that game because it just shows really, I mean, how imperative it is. Once you get out those first 2 roaches, go ahead and take your third. As well, throw down a macro hatchery. I mean, even if you lose something like your third, you have to retake it ASAP, and you need to throw down something like a macro hatch to start spending those minerals. I was way too high. I was not able to spend my minerals, and as well, I don't really have a counter mech build figured out as far as gas timing. So let me know your thoughts. I've been your host as always, KangaRuthless. Be sure to rate, subscribe, comment. Be sure to comment. I mean, what could I have done better here if you have any other ideas? And I'll be sure to see you guys next time. Peace.